private players in this Git space. We often industries or the companies often host this Git thing in their own private clouds. Like if you, if any of you might be in industries, then you may be having your own private Git, your private Git in Azure, in AWS, or GCP, or any other cloud, or your dedicated server. So let's start with what is this Git thing, and then we will go with the practical session also. Like I'll show you like how this Git thing works and how this version controlling happens over there with the files. So Git is basically a version control system. Version control means whenever we make changes to our software, whenever we make changes to our files, our coding, software basically a code. So whenever we make the changes to our software, they need to be, we record somewhere that we have made those changes yesterday, and tomorrow, today, we are making these changes. So just making to keep the track of what we had done yesterday, or what other guy or what other person in my team had done with that particular software. Or in when we talk about this thesis thing, so what yesterday what I had written over there for my thesis, and today I'm modifying this thing. So yesterday what I had written over there. Even if you're a writer and you're writing the stories, so you can maintain different versions of your stories. Like okay, today you write this thing, and then tomorrow you add on something or you modify those things. So you can keep track of anything, and you can time travel backwards to the different versions of your files. We can compare the changes from one version to another, and we can compare we can version control anything. It can be anything because everything is in binary, so we can version control anything. Yet there is a size limit on the files also, and this GitLab, these private players provide in the pro versions for the bigger sizes, but we can version control anything in our computer or in our uh, in our daily life. And this VCS, this version control system, and made this time traveling in the software domain possible for us. Like we are time traveling backwards, like what we had done yesterday, and we can just revert back to that particular scenario. So basically, if we move on with the Git thing, any file with which we are using the Git, it must be in any of these three stages. Like it may be committed, it might be modified, or it may be staged. I'll just explain you one by one what all these terminologies mean. So the committed means this is the final thing. Like we have the final committed, like this is the save thing and this is finalizing for today. Today I close my work and this is the committed thing, and I have saved somewhere in the desktop or there in my PC. And tomorrow I came tomorrow in the morning and I'm modifying some contents in the file. So what will happen, like yesterday at the end of the day, the file was in the committed state. I'm modifying the file. It will come in the modified state. And then when I mark my modification as okay, I say okay, whatever I have done today, it is okay and it is the final thing. I'll stage them. I'll say these are okay and we can now commit them. Like these are okay, I have tested all those things. So then we can mark them as for committing. So basically there are three stages. First one is the committed state, second one is the modified stage, and the stage. And then what happened, like when the theme files are in the state, and then we will just commit them those again to the committed state. The file always move around these three stages. For a Git project, so what we say, there are three states of any project. Wherever we are working out, there are three states of any of the Git project. If any of you might be having any doubt, you can just post in the comment box. In between, I'll just give you insight of all those queries. So for any of the Git project, like we are initializing any of our folder, any of our content for with the Git, so there will be always the three states. The first one is the working directory. The working directory means wherever we are just right now working over there. And then we have a staging area. Like similarly, where we are staging the files. Okay, I have done my work today, and please commit them. So this is my staging area, and from the staging area, it is in the Git repository. Like when we commit the changes, it is in the Git repository. And tomorrow, when we come tomorrow and work on those files, it again come into our working directory, and it will be from the last version, last snapshot of our committed code. Okay. The main nowadays, if you would be working with the softwares, every software or most of software you would be encountering, they must be having this VCS thing in there, the VCS menu in the menu bar. This VCS version control system is the GUI for this whole Git thing, but the real power of the Git lies in the command line, because most of these things we can easily do with the commands. So in the command line, like in the Windows, you can run with the CMD or PowerShell. With the Mac and Linux, you can use the terminal. I think that's quite obvious for you. This is some of the commands like pwd. I think so. You may be knowing it. It will give you like the current working directory. This CD thing. This CD will give you like how to traverse among the directories, moving up or moving down. This is used for this thing. This ls command or dir for the Windows users, ls for the Unix users or even the Mac users also. This ls will list the files, all the files in the directory, and this mkdir for making the directory, and this is the common command for the Windows, for the Linux, for Mac also. And this touch command in Linux, and copycon. I think most of you in your school days on very around like 10 years before, copycon was very much told in the classes also, in the computer classes, copycon. So this is a DOS command for making a new file. Now we move on towards like how we can install the Git. It's quite obvious. Like in the Unix systems, in the Linux packages, you can use the package manager. That is using apt-get. These are two just flavors of the Linux which we are seeing in the screen right now. And then for the Windows, we can just directly go towards the link. I'll just share my screen, reshare my screen again. Okay. So you can download, you can just directly type on the Google like Git download for the Windows. So it will give you gitscm.com downloads. You can get the link for downloading the Git in your PCs. You can directly just click on the link for Mac, for Unix, for Windows. Just click on the link and it will be installed in your PCs. It's a simple like click on the exe and everything will be downloaded. Okay. Downloading is quite easy, not something. For the Git, these are the links, and you can also use the brew homebrew for the Git for the Mac. Okay, now just I'll give you a basic explanation or basic insight like how to use Git in your own working folders, and then we will move forward with the command line and all those things. Suppose say we are, I'm just making, this is my PowerShell. I'm going to my C directory. I think it should be visible to you, or you can zoom it out. So I just, I suppose say I am creating a directory in directory mkdir. I want to make a new project, and today what we'll do, we will just make a new project, and then we will be tracking those projects with the help of Git. So what I'll do, I just mkdir, this Git workshop, which will make a directory for me. Fine. Now I'll go inside this workshop, like Git workshop, cd Git workshop. Now what I do, we make, suppose say we are making text files over there. I'll just try to give you an example with a jQuery, with a simple JavaScript file, with a simple HTML file, and with a simple text file, and we'll see like how we are tracking those changes inside the Git, and how Git is a very powerful tool right now. And when you are going into the IT industry, so this will be the first thing which you will encounter, because any project without Git is not running in any of the industries. So this is quite more important for any of you who are aspiring to enter into the IT industry, or who are working right now in the IT industry. This is something very much important concept for anyone. So suppose say this is my C Git workshop. I'll just make it manually. From here, it will take time. I go to Git workshop and suppose say first line. Save this file. This is my text file. Suppose now I'm making an HTML file, something like this. And say I make a jQuery also, like suppose say for the jQuery we will save it with a .js extension, script.js. Suppose say these are three files. This is visible to you, I think so, in the console, in the screen also. So these three files are over there in my folder. Now I go to my PowerShell. Okay. For initializing a Git, like for in starting a Git or for initializing a Git inside a particular project or inside a particular folder, the command is like git init. Git is the Git thing, space init. Init is for initialization. Any of you would have worked if the Linux systems or all those things. Init is a very common word. So git init, it will get initialize a Git repository. Whenever you can also try parallelly in your systems also, if you want to do this right now, this it will make a .git folder inside your current repository or your current directory. You will click inside .git, it will give a number of folders, and they have a lot of importance. Like this is what the files, all the files who are maintaining our version controlling our complete project. So we need not to hamper with .git folder when we are not having enough knowledge. Otherwise, sometime it may happen like your whole work will be lost just because of simple small hampering with your work with this folder. This would be hidden folder, so you can just directly show the hidden items from over there in the menu, and it will be visible to you. .git. This is the folder where every repository, where every change, where whatever you do with your files, everything, the track of all those things would be over there in this .git folder. Now there is a command for checking like git status. Git status means I am asking Git is my open source software. I'm asking Git like what is the status of my files. So it is saying to me like we are on a branch master. So whenever we initialize a Git, it automatically create a branch master. What is this branch thing? I'll go to this concept in a little while. But yes, this will automatically create a branch master or main. Previously, sometimes it was also main in some of times, but right now it is creating the master, and there is no committed file here, and it is saying that these are the file untracked files. This is not inside the Git. This is something. These files are over there inside the repository, but these are untracked files. We are not right now tracking these files. We can just, for tracking these files, we can write it like git add and dot. Any of you know what this dot means? Any of you, if you know, you can comment. Otherwise, I'll tell you. This dot means all the files inside this repository, inside this directory. This dot is a regular, is for the regular, is like a regular expression over here. You might be using this dot symbol in the searching, in advanced searching, in Excel, in Word, even in the coding you use the regex, regular expression we use over there in the coding. So over there this dot means all the files inside this directory. So I'll just use this command git add dot. It will add all those files inside my, like these files are now inside the stays the condition. If we have seen this thing, now these files are inside this stage thing. Now these files are staged. If you'll see git status, it will say now these are the new files, and these new files are like these changes are to be committed. These are now in the stage sections. Fine. Now for committing these things, is like git. It's very easy. Commands are very much easy. Just you need to know the terminologies and just apply those simple pure English words over there with the commands, and you will be very much a pro with this git thing. Git commit, and very simply just type an option n, like this is a dash m. In our language we often call it as option, like the other different options over there. So git commit option n or option or dash m, and then the message. This message thing is quite more important. Like this is my initial commit. What happened, like all my files are now committed. These files are now inside my .git folder, and these files are now there. One snapshot is being maintained right over there. If I check my git status now, it will say I am on the branch master, nothing to commit, and my working tree is clean, like nothing to commit, and I am working okay, like nothing, none of the work or none of data is over there which can be lost if I'm not committing those things. Now, what is the important of this git commit option and this message? This message you can type anything, like you can type XYZ, you can type test, you can type ABCD, your name, whatever. There is no restriction from the git side or from those providers. But a simple thing is like if you type any of those messages, like anything you type, like in not you are not typing a meaningful message over there. Later on, a time will come that someone else from your team is trying to access those git logs. He'll not be able to understand like what is happening or what you have done over there in the past. So for the job, from the job perspective, from being in the company, this is very much important. Like you need to know these messages are very much important and need to be very meaningfully written over there. We cannot write just a test or XYZ or ABC over there. Your managers or your project managers or your senior hierarchy will often look into it, and you would be getting a very harsh treatment for all those things, because you are just doing not a very good practice over there. Okay, moving forward, this is my git status. Now suppose say I am changing a file. I go to my file and say I got some task, or I am a writer and I am writing something over there. I say first line of text file. I say okay, this was the first line. I am writing second line, and I have to modify this first line. Modified line. I save this thing. As soon as I save it, see, Git is quite more advanced, and as soon as I am saving this particular file and I am seeing the Git status, it will show me the status like, okay, my text file is now modified, and if you want to add a file to the particular Git repository, your local repository, then you need to add git add file, and then you need to commit it. And if you want to restore the file, if you want to discard the changes in these changes, and you want it to restore to a previous version, you can just type git restore and the file name. Okay, just what I'll do, I'll write git add. Now there is one more option over there. You may note this thing also. Option A. This option is for directly committing the file to the Git repository without being staged. Often this is the case, like we stage the changes, and after staging the changes, we commit those changes. But by for bypassing those staging things, like if you don't want to stage the changes and we directly want to commit it, we can use that directly and option A and then option M and the message like changes in text file. I'll, sorry, this is not add, this is commit. It should be commit. If you want to commit, you will write git commit option A, option M message, and it will be something like this. Your changes will be would be post into your local repository, and you can see the status also. Git status. Okay. Up to this thing, what we have learned like how to initialize your local Git repository, how to add your files to your local Git repo, how to add the new, how to stage your files for when you make a modification in your local Git repo, and how to commit again all those files in your local Git repo. This is about a local Git repository. But this is only fulfilling our purpose of being a version controlling in our local PCs. What is the case when we are very much when we want to share the code among different members of our team and they are working from different places, or this may be the case like you're worried like tomorrow your PC may get hampered or something may happen with your hard disk and your data can get lost. So what your useful work will be of use, there will be no use of this work. And you also want to know like what are changes you have done on which date, which changes which you have done. All this data is quite more important. So what we do, we go to a cloud provider. There are many cloud providers. One of those is the GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. There are many of these three are many of many. Okay. So what is happening like this is your local PC. This is your local PC, and suppose say this is your shop or cafe. There you are working also over there. This is your home, and this is the central cloud. So with the cloud, our data is stored over there. We are committing all the changes to the cloud. They are also committing their changes. They are also committing their changes with the meaningful messages, and we are parallelly working on the code and with the version controlling system also. So what is happening like with this cloud thing, like when this gate is centrally hosted or is centrally hosted within the cloud, all those persons like this is you and this all your team members can work together. Okay, this is my origin repository. I'll just explain come this to you now. Firstly, what we will do, we'll try to make a GitHub account, and with making this GitHub account, then we will make a good new GitHub repository, and we will link up our remote, our cloud repository with our local repository. So what will happen, like whatever changes we are doing over here should be reflected over there in the cloud. I okay. I'll make a new GitHub account. You can use GitHub.com. You can use GitLab. You can use Bitbucket. All of those are the same because Git commands are same for anyone. For any of those providers, Git command are always the same. So we'll just click on the sign up. That's quite easy. Those who don't know, they can just click on the sign up and then you can create your own account. Today there is some problem with the GitHub. So GitHub is quite down today. And their official statement is also released in the Twitter also, like there are a few pipelines are working fine and this thing is quite. Till then this thing is coming. You will get a dashboard like this thing. This thing should be visible to you. This is my dashboard where you would be having your username, your password, your repository, all those things. You would be getting your own username, your passwords, and these things. I'll just click on new, On when we click on new, it will give us a menu for creating a new repository. So you like this, you are the owner of the project. There are many different roles which we follow inside the this GitHub thing. If you will tomorrow, suppose say you are in a IT company and there are many roles you deal over there. Like one of some of you may be the DevOps, like development DevOps guy. Some of you may be the developer guys. So developer will develop and try to build their thing, and they will try to push their thing to the server. DevOps guy will maintain it. So the whole this CI, there is a concept of CI/CD, like continuous integration and continuous deployment, and very advanced concept right now. And this is very much useful right now. So all those things are very much linked with all this Git thing. This Git is the backbone behind all those DevOps things. We will just initialize a repository over here, like say I Git practical workshop. Now there will be options of like description, like this is the two options, public or private. What does public mean and what does private mean? Public means anyone in the internet can see this repository. They are see if you are coding something and many of the times you encounter the codes, like say we can just public. So these are public repository means anyone can access. We can clone those repositories and then we can make the modification on those repositories. Private is means you are working in a closed team, like you are having your group of 10-15 persons and you are working on those repositories. You can add a readme file, git ignore. License is something like you can release it, MIT license or double C license. These are different type of licenses. We will not go that much inside it. We'll make it a public one right now or private one right now. Then create a repository. Once you create a repository, it will give you different consoles in an access screen to you. And they also showing you the commands like git init, git add, git commit, git branch, git remove, add, origin, git push option u, origin, main. These are different commands which we would be executing right now. So the main thing is like this is the URL over there. This is the HTTPS URL. We can clone our URL or we can just link up our remote URL with our local repository with this HTTPS or this SSH. There are both two modes. For the SSH, it is a bit advanced concept, like you need to create the SSH keys, and for you will register the public key in your own PC, and then you will be making the connection. We right now are using this HTTPS URL. We copy it, and then we will go in our code. I'll say git how you will add remote at origin. We are defining a particular remote URL for the remote, and then we will paste it, like I'm not executing this command because I already executed. I'm executing this command. This thing is over there. So this git remote add origin, my origin is added over there. Now suppose say I want now see when you are going to see your repository over here, there is nothing. Like you don't have any code, this is blank. When we run the command git push option u origin and the master. I am saying push the origin my master branch. So what this thing then did it pushed all those local files into my Git repository. Once I refresh this page, see my files are now over there in my console. I got all those files. See, initial commit, there are changes in text file. There are two commits. We can check the logs also. See, this is the initial commit. I can check like, okay, what was the initial commit? I can check from the user interface also. First line of text file. This is something, the first commit. It is showing you the versions. It is showing you the history, like what we had done. And when you are saying you are going to previous commit. Now the latest commit is changes in text file. So it is showing like modified line and the second line. These two lines are added and this line was removed. This is something, and this see, this is the symbol. If you want to understand it, this is something like double letter it. This is the just the uh, like the double quotes. There is double letter it in the Git thing, and this minus one is like the file one with which it is comparing. There is no change in the file one, and for the second file, there is like two files are added at the line number one. I think this much up to this point, uh, things are clear to you guys. Any queries if you want to ask, you can ask right now. You can type in the chat box. It is not too much hard or difficult to understand. It's very much easy going thing. Okay, so what we were discussing for getting more. Okay, so what the thing is like, we have our origin repository and this local repository. Origin repository means this Git repository which we are working right now, Git Tactical Workshop. This is my origin repo, and this is my local repo with which I am working in my local piece. Suppose say I made one commit. So my master branch is right now following this particular commit, and once I commit, it will follow my other committed snapshot. Okay, I'll just see there is a tool, very nice tool developed by the GitHub team itself, and that is for just exploring it out how this commit thing works. So right now, how this version thing works like, say suppose say I am say git commit, git. You can also try this tools also at the GitHub, git school.github.io, visualizing Git. So say what happened like I committed, I made the change in the file. So what happened like my current working directory or my latest head of the particular my Git is now tracking this latest thing. My Git is being tracked by this thing, and then I again made the commit, git commit. It is again going this thing. Now suppose say I want to make a what is the branch over there in this? The concept of branch is something like when this is the concept in the industries or in the general thing also, like we are not making changes in the directly the main copy. We are making changes in the secondary copy, and then in the secondary copy we'll merge on later on. So for this command, for making a new branch, you will use the command git checkout option B, the branch name. The branch name like new branch. This branch name also need to be very much meaningful, and certain companies follow their own convention for making the branch. For the production branches, for UAT branches, there are certain conventions to be followed. So see, there is a new branch created over there. Now if I commit, I am committing in the new branch. This my new branch is committing over there. And say right now, if I say I want to work something on my master branch, so what I'll do, or suppose say now second third guy in my team come and he's working on some other module. So what he'll do, he'll make a new branch of himself. Git checkout option B, HTML change. Suppose this guy is only dealing with the HTML changes of the project. HTML changes. Now he's committing something. His commit is going on something else. Now my new branch guy come and he's working with the text files. He'll in the same PC he'll go git check out new branch, or in his own PC his particular branch was already checked out. So git check out new branch. Now my head, this head is moving. His head is it's like on which current commit or what is the current working code in my local PC. This is my git. Suppose say commit. This is now committing more. I say git commit. It is committing. Now I go to my master branch. Git checkout master. Now head is coming over to the master. I made some small changes over there, and then I say I am merging my new branches. I want to make the changes, merge the changes from the new branch to the master branch. It will be like git new branch, sorry, git merge new branch. So it made the changes over there. All the changes were directly merged into the master branch, and this is what the culture, or what this is how we work over there in the companies. This is how the git repositories are maintained. This is how we are maintaining our code changes. So I'll just move towards some few more commands over there. If you want to do in a local repository, suppose say if I'm saying I made a changes in my, I want to make a new branch. Git checkout. So say option B HTML CR something like this, CR underscore HTML. Now this is my suppose say I am making some changes over there in the file. Now I am changing my HTML file. I am changing the HTML file over there. Index.html. I just make it quickly. I'm just making a change over there. Suppose say now I got a work and they say remove this headline or just add one more headline over there. They say make a heading 2 over there. Just for example. There's something like welcome. I say save it. Now what I'll do, I just do git commit option A, option M, HTML S2 tag add. This is my message. I say git push option U origin, and origin to which branch? CR underscore HTML. Now we will go and try and just check our local Git repository, our remote Git repository. Let we refresh the page. See, there are now two branches. One branch is master, one branch is CR underscore HTML. Right now, we just made the changes in the index.html. But in the master branch, the old content is over there. There is no changes in this branch right now. But when we go towards this new branch, CR underscore HTML, S2 tag is added over there. So what I'll do, I can merge those changes to the master branch also. Suppose say I am here, I say git checkout master and git merge CR underscore HTML. Now we check over there. Now what the case or what the method we the process we follow, the standards we follow in the companies is like these merge requests are not being done by a developer directly. There must be some master admin or some admin over there, or most of the times it may be approved by some DevOps guy. They are approving, okay, you are merging the changes and this is the main branch. This is something which will be go live into the server and will be available to all the public. So very carefully, people take very much care when pushing those changes, merging those changes. And whoever know those changes, they can work. Wait. Git push option view. Now we check in the Git repo. See, this is a master branch. Once we push the changes from over there, from a local to our remote repo, the changes are now merged in the master branch. And our master branch is now up to date. Now, what the thing is like, we can deploy this code in our server in the internet, and this will be visible to the public. And this is in short how we are maintaining our Git repository and how we are maintaining the code in the production, in the QA servers, in the testing servers, in the different servers. And this is how we take care of the correct code being visible to the customer. Like suppose say this is a very testing code. Or suppose say you are a banking, you are in a bank or you are in an insurance firm or some financial firm or any other firm or in the manufacturing firm, and you make some changes and you directly merge over there, and that goes in the into the main server in the production, and you can get a business loan of many $1 million just because of small changes. So that's why we keep on automating things and keep on automating things. This is just a basic concept and very base of what we do in the industries and how we maintain the versions we using the Git. And many other commands are right now also over there. Like we have Git stash. Even if I can just show it to like we have Git stash, and we have even the Git reset and many more commands for very easily maintaining the version controlling our files, and this version controlling can be applicable to any of those things. Like it is very much common among the software developers, and they used for their maintaining the versions of their software reports, but that can be very much useful for any other persons, like be it from any other field, be it from research field. They can maintain different versions of their files, and that's how they can maintain, like they can check, okay, yesterday I did this thing, today I did this thing, and they can work more fruitfully and more in a much better way. Moving forward, just quickly going through the PPT. You already know, like when we track the files, like when we push the command like git add, what happens over there whenever we uh, clone the file, what happens over there. So these are different stages of the track file. When it is modified, then we mark it for staging. When it is being staged, then we commit it to the snapshot, we commit it to the local repository, then we post it to the remote repository. We can check the status of this thing. We can check right now. We will just also so to use git status. Suppose say you want to check in the short while what is the status. Okay, there is nothing changed. Wait, I just add a new file over there. Then it will show you the status. It's a new text document, and now I check. So it will show like this is my new file. The with this two two question mark sign. It will show like a new file. These are the short notations for the Git thing. And Git is quite not that much vast, but Git is quite more important topic, and it will take a hardly like if you will practice this thing, hardly in a 1 week you will be a pro in the Git thing. These are short notations. Whenever with this command you get the output like for m is like the file is modified, a is like new file being added, and double question mark is like file new file is being added and that is not in the staging area. Suppose say I add this file to the staging area now. Git add new file dot txt, and now I check git. It, it is now the a symbol, like this is now a new file in the staging area. Different symbols are over there, and with this symbol, this outputs, we can automate our whole concept of this git thing. We can automate our production, we can automate our deployment and all those things. We can check like what are the changes with the files for the particular file in the uh, which are now ready to be committed. So we can check it like git diff. It is show it like okay, there is a it is comparing first file git a new file.txt b is new file.txt older version. This new file, it is a new file, and 100644 is a particular number, and there is a very fixed number, and these are notations, specific notations over there. 00 is for because it is a new file, and this is the hash code for a particular file. This is how the git is maintaining. This is how very this git software is particularly working over there by maintaining the hash codes for the files. Okay, this is quite the end of the session. Like I told you, like different commands over there. Few of the commands, many of or more of the commands are also over there with the git thing, git stash. You can go through documentation of the git. You can understand those easily, and you can also connect with us. We would be organizing a 1 week workshop for this thing, and that will be only 500 rupees as per the ma'am. 500 rupees per student. 1 week workshop that will be completely online mode. Any of you interested, or any of your colleagues interested, or if you are a college student and you want to learn this Git thing, which is quite more important for your resume also. If you know the Git, that is a plus point because Git is something which is going to be very much useful for you in any of the domains. And for any of the inquiries, for any of the courses, we are offering multiple courses in multiple domains, and the trending courses like whatever which are right now used in the industries like React, like the CI/CD thing, the Circle CI, this the cloud deployment, AWS Azure, and how this DogDB thing work, and this GCP thing works. So different things are over there. You can just connect with us. These are our mail IDs and our phone numbers. And you guys, if you are having any questions, you can ask now. I think there is only one question right now over there. What is a GitHub fork? See, this GitHub fork is like, suppose say you are having a public code over there. Suppose say there is a code over there, architecture samples. So I can fork this code. Like fork this code means whenever I fork some code, I click on the fork. What will happen like I fork it, it will come into my domain. Like this, I'll be the owner of this code and I'll modify this code again. Now I can modify this code. You click it and see it, whenever you click on fork, it will be inside your own dashboard. This is what a fork means. And number of forks means how many people have used that code. So in the IT world, many more numbers of the fork means your code is quite more popular. You are quite more popular ultimately, and that is also one of the signs which you can project in your resumes also. Like, okay, I have that much forks, 10.8 thousand forks. That is a very big number. And how much space you get in the GitHub? GitHub is like for the file is a size less than 50 MB, you can do the thing like with the GitHub, but you cannot implement. I think so that a company many security policies, like there is some multiple roles over there. There is only one role which is available to you. Either you are the owner or you are not the owner. You are a part of the team, but with the company role over there, and you're getting the pro versions of the GitHub or other GitLab, Bitbucket, you can. Bitbucket is also like the GitHub or GitLab. It is also cloud provider. It is the cloud provider of the Git thing, Git open source software. So with this thing, here is the action tab. You may do R&D from your own side. This is like how we can do the CI/CD thing. CI/CD like continuous integration and deployment. Like if suppose say we are developing a code, and when we develop our code, uh, we want to deploy our code. Now we made a final changes in our code, and we want to deploy. So sometimes it happens like we deploy it manually. Like we copy the files, we go to a server, paste over there, we restart a server. So these things become tedious when there are a number of changes over there, or we have to reset a number of process. So this thing is now automated. Now developers don't need to go to a server, or no one need to go to a server and copy paste the files. They can directly click on the this deploy, and everything will be deployed very easily. Nothing they need not to worry about anything else. This is some CI/CD thing, and we would be organizing a workshop on this CI/CD thing, and you will be getting the certificates for today's workshop also. Just get in touch with ma'am, and any of you, if you are having any other queries, you can just let us know. Guys,
Thank you
anyone
for
having any query?
sir. I think nobody have their query
Okay, then
now.
you would be having any query later on when you are trying all those commands, all those things on the Git. You can just connect with us. Our phone numbers are
So
over
where
there.
we
These are
get
all
the
available.
certificate?
You just fill the feedback form and share a mail ID and phone number. In 2 3 days or in a week, you will get a certificate in your mail.
So Sovik Sen is saying something.
Yes.
Yeah, Sovik.
A feedback form. Where we can found the feedback form?
In
Feedback
the chat
form.
box. In the chat
Please send
box.
again. Please send again. I late too.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, okay,
okay.
okay.
Ending this. Okay.
And any of you are having any queries? See, you can ping us anytime on the WhatsApp number. If you are having any queries, we would be available for you to just ping you back. You can just drop your queries at our mail IDs also. We'll reply you at our mail IDs. And if you want you want to pursue some courses with us, you can also connect with us. We would be starting.
I was.
Yeah, I think the feedback form is shared in the chat box. So guys, you fill the feedback form. Let us know like what improvement we need to do, or what other topics we need to cover, or any topics you feel like there should be some workshop which you feel like it will be good for you, beneficial for you. We would be arranging the workshop
Sir,
on the weekly
what
basis.
will be the
Yes.
remark we can say in the feedback form?
Remark is like what the improvement you want with us. So what is your remark for the workshop? You
Okay.
feel like this is a waste of time. You feel like it is good for your career. Whatever you feel.
Okay. Okay.
I think all of you guys got a feedback form. Who have filled the feedback form, they can leave now. Or if they are having query, they can stay and then ask. We are here for 5 more minutes.
I have also shared our Facebook and YouTube channel, so you can also like and subscribe our channel so that you can get update on these workshops. And we are also uploading these workshops on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, please support. This is a new startup, and Sonam is the director of this startup. And she's doing very good, and her startup was last year awarded as the best startup in Uttarakhand startup program. So just give her the support, and also we are just aiming that you guys do good in your careers and whatever the maximum thing we can do for you. So these series of free workshop we are going to arrange on the weekly basis. You can just let us know like which topics we need to cover, and you can also join our other courses also. We would be happy to be to you with you working with you and you being in our teams also. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you all the participants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.